Karamoja, located in the remote northeastern part of Uganda, is a region of striking contrasts and rich cultural heritage. Despite its long history of marginalization and periods of conflict, Karamoja today is a place of resilience and transformation, except there's an expanding child trafficking crisis. Hello and welcome to the Newvision CSI Crime Stories podcast, presenting to you Karamoja's Stolen Childhood. In a 5-part series, this investigation busts myths, follows how Karamojong children are moved to Kampala, names prime suspects in trafficking rings, and asks, where are the dead street kids buried? I'm Razia Othman. This investigation was conducted by a Newvision reporter who must remain undercover. To protect them, I'll be telling the story.
Giving money to the street beggars is said to be perpetuating a cycle of poverty and also creating a strong incentive for children.
But when you open your car window, then you give out a coin to someone. That person is supposed to be in school.
How are children moved from Karamoja to Kampala streets? For years, the child trafficking networks in Karamoja have operated like underground rivers. Quiet, shifting, and devastating. No one took keen interest and they continued operating unabated. But in recent months, authorities have started taking concern. A series of covert operations and tip-offs have begun to unravel the dark webs that prey on the region's most vulnerable children. These trafficking rings are no longer ragtag gangs. They are sophisticated enterprises with scouts, transporters, and recruiters. A community whistleblower intimates to the undercover reporter that in the villages, children run away from their respective homes to Kampala due to poverty. But Karamoja is not the only region affected by poverty, so they try to find out other reasons. According to the community whistleblower called Joseph, the local leaders have tried to stop parents from sending their children to the Kampala streets to beg in vain. Some men are polygamous and they produce many children whom they fail to support. As a result, they willingly give away their children to cartels that use them for begging on the streets of Kampala. Joseph said girls are preferred because they're better babysitters, they easily carry babies and easily elicit sympathy on the Kampala streets. Also, the older girls are quickly recruited into prostitution. Many parents opt to send their children to Kampala and get money in exchange. The girl child is still considered a source of income to parents and the whole clan. Girls are also forced into early marriages in exchange for cows. There's also a belief among the Karamojong that educated girls are spoilt, so uneducated girls fetch more cows in bride price. The majority of the victims of teen marriages are orphans whose fathers were killed while trying to protect their cattle from raiders or while following the raiders to rescue their animals. These orphans and their mothers are vulnerable and targeted by the traffickers. Daughters of deceased men killed during cattle raids also end up being married off as teenagers because their families look at them as transactional objects. Hunger has also contributed to the trafficking of children. During the dry season, children run away from home to scavenge for food while some fend for entire families. Traffickers disguise themselves as wealthy people with connections to donors who are seeking to help vulnerable Karamojong children. But once the children are in Kampala, they are subjected to begging and the money they collect is handed over to the cartel heads. Parents are equally money-minded. As long as you give them some money, even as little as 20,000 shillings, they release their children. Education is an important factor in stemming child trafficking. The most affected areas are villages where children hardly go to school and the parents are poor. Some girls are lured into begging when they see their colleagues who go back to Karamoja from Kampala looking good. The returnees usually go home with household items like mattresses and buckets, which are used to sell malua. When other parents see these items, they in turn force their children to go and work to get what they do not have. Others simply join due to peer pressure from their friends and competition amongst them. Those who have returned from Kampala appear different from those in the village. The Kampala girls walk in groups. They have similar haircuts with local makeup. They speak Uganda as a mark to show they've been to Kampala. Those in villages admire the returnees and sometimes congregate around them to hear stories about Kampala. It's during such storytelling meetings that the village girls and boys hatch plans to escape. It's then that connections are made with the traffickers. So, the girls who return home to visit their families unknowingly become part of the trafficking coordination chain. To make their plan quickly succeed, the traffickers give the young girls and boys some money, which entices them to travel to Kampala. Napak has different market days for different towns. Tuesday is the market day in Matany, and Wednesday is for Kangole. Traffickers use these market days to lure the boys and girls to the Kampala streets. The girls and boys are well briefed. When the time comes to travel, they conceal the money given to them inside their clothes for future use. They prepare a meal of sunflower seeds with a lot of salt. This makes them take a lot of water and eat less, as hunger is kept at bay. Also, they pack dried malua residues. They mix it with water to make it soft and eat it as food. They also pack herbs for malaria in case one falls sick. They also meet on market days, team up and prepare to travel. Most groups travel to Kampala on weekends, between Friday and Sunday. The undercover reporter later learned that during this period, there is less vigilance from authorities. They move in groups for company and security and have the mobile numbers of the traffickers. The group may own a small telephone, which they dismantle and members keep parts. When they want to communicate with their bosses, they assemble the phone and make a call. The group has more girls than boys. The most trafficked children range between 6 and 12 years. Besides begging on the streets, girls are used as babysitters and sex workers at night. Boys, on the other hand, engage in hard labor, working on farms all over Uganda, including in Busoga, Ankole, and other parts of the country. It's only boys aged 5 years and below who are used to beg, whereas the children come willingly. When they reach Kampala, the traffickers force them to carry babies on the streets and use them to attract sympathy from passers-by while begging. Some of the traffickers are former street children who have mastered the art of begging and now live in Kampala. They go back to their home villages, promise the children good jobs, but end up forcing them to beg on the streets, which makes the cycle difficult to break. The children smear white soil, locally known as emunyen, on their faces, which they believe offers them protection. The undercover reporter found this and other types of soil, green and red, in Napak. To Kampala, the city of opportunity, the children walk the long Karamoja roads and jungles during the day and sleep at night. They walk for weeks while avoiding the checkpoints of Iriri, Matanye, Kangole, Lolechola, Olilim and Katakwi. Once they go past the checkpoint in Katakwi, the alluring city life of Kampala beckons. They make stopovers in Soroti, Mbale, Iganga and Jinja, and to look for casual work until they find transport to take them to Kampala. Those who have phones call the traffickers who facilitate their travel to the city. Others travel to as far as Busia or Hoima, where they first get employed as casual workers in the factories. They do manual jobs like sorting agricultural products, maize, rice, beans, and groundnuts. It's from here that they are connected to traffickers in Kampala. Is there any imminent solution to the child trafficking problem? Are shoddy NGOs and government bigwigs part of the rampant trafficking? Join us in the next episode for these answers. Thank you for listening to the Newvision CSI Crime Stories podcast. I'm Razia Athman.